I think it's really easy for some of us to get lost in the present day reality of the awareness that we've been dealing with a narcissist in our life and the reality of what narcissism is and all of the things that go with it. It's easy to forget that there was a time that we once had no idea what narcissism was and no idea that the person we were with was a pathological narcissist, or what that even means. I think it's important sometimes to go back and remind ourselves of what life was like before we understood the reality of our situation. I think it's important to forgive ourselves for not seeing signs of something that we didn't even realize was a reality. And also to have empathy for other people that are still on that road, that still haven't realized what they're dealing with. Welcome to Looking Behind the Mirror, where we explore narcissism and take our lives back as we make sense out of nonsense. As a quick disclaimer, everything I say is based on my opinions and my personal experiences. I'm not a professional, and if you're really struggling, I encourage you to seek professional help. I am providing links below for you. I first want to say in this video that I understand that everybody's experience is different, and I really only have my own experience to go off of in this video. So a lot of what I say is what my reality was like before I realized that I was dealing with a pathological narcissist, or before I realized what narcissism was. Feel free to express the differences between your experience and my experience in the comments below. I really just want to go over some assumptions that many of us had before we realized what narcissism was, before we realized that we were dealing with a narcissist. And the first assumption is that we assumed that we were with somebody that perceived reality similarly to us, that viewed the world in a similar way. We assumed that we were with a quote normal person. We assumed that everything we saw on the surface of this person that we grew very close to was what this person was all about. I don't think it's reasonable for us to expect ourselves to have known that somebody that seemed very normal was anything but. So I think it's important for us to forgive ourselves for not knowing that somebody we were dealing with was something that we could have never even perceived of, that we could have never even believed was possible until we experienced it for ourselves. Of course, we assumed that we were with a normal person, somebody that presented emotions that seemed normal, or motivations that seemed normal. How could we have ever known that nothing we saw was based on anything authentic? That's beyond anything I think any normal person could ever conceive of until they experience it for themselves. If somebody introduced themselves to you with the name Bob Jones, you would never in a million years wonder if that's really their real name. When somebody introduces themselves to us and tells us what their name is, we assume that that's really their name, until one day we find out years later that their name is actually Tom Smith, and that the name that they gave us was something that never actually ever existed. Why would we ever suspect that somebody would lie about their name? Why would we ever suspect that somebody would lie about the way they feel about things, the way they see things, the way that they are motivated by certain things? Why would we ever assume that somebody would lie about the things that make them them, about their very identity? It's just not something that would ever occur to us. Just like it would never occur to us that somebody is lying about their name until we meet someone that lied about their name. And only after that, really, is it reasonable to be suspicious of things that there doesn't seem to be any reason to be suspicious of. In the beginning of a relationship with a narcissist, we assume that we're with somebody that wants similar things to what we want, like a healthy relationship, like connection or harmony in a relationship. We assume we're with somebody that wants to get along with us, that wants to have peace in their home. I don't think that any of us that want these things in our life could ever conceive of somebody that doesn't want a healthy relationship, doesn't want peace in their home, doesn't want connection, doesn't want you to care for them or to show them love. Somebody that says they want these things and pretends to want these things, but doesn't actually want anything that any normal person we would assume would want in their life. It's hard to conceive of the idea that there are people in this world that don't want, quote, good things. Narcissists are wired completely different. They don't want love. They want to be the center of attention. They want to be the only thing that matters. They want to be the exception to the rule. They want somebody that is a mind reader and a servant, and they want chaos. They want to be able to upset you. They want pointless, endless arguments that go nowhere. They want drama. They're pathologically bored. They're not motivated by anything really deep or meaningful. They really can't even conceive of anything that's really deep or meaningful because their life is really directed by endless moment-to-moment feelings. However they feel right now in this moment is the only thing that matters. And building deep, meaningful relationships just has no value to them at all. People with good character, people that are truly loyal to them, that care about them, that doesn't have any value at all if you're not doing something right now in this moment that's making them feel good. How could we have ever known that there were people like that existed in this world that don't want love if we hadn't experienced it for ourselves? Before we realized that we were with a narcissist, we assumed that we were with somebody that loved us and cared about us. And how could we ever blame ourselves for believing anything different when this person we were with acted like they loved us and even said that they loved us and said that they cared about us and promised us things that we wanted? We wanted to believe that this person loved us, and there was no reason to believe anything otherwise. It would have been quite cynical and strange to question the motives of somebody that professes to love us, right? That's something that a narcissist does. It's a reasonable expectation to expect somebody that you're in a relationship with that says they love you, that they love you. It's reasonable to expect that they're being honest about their feelings when they're in a relationship with you and they're spending time with you and they have some level of commitment to you. Why would anybody lie about the way that they feel about somebody that they profess to love? Before we knew that we were with a narcissist, we probably also assumed that a narcissist's complaints were valid, that the things that they were angry about were actually the things they were angry about, that those sharp, biting criticisms and insults that started to pop up later in the relationship were based on things that the narcissist actually thought. We thought that all these things that the narcissist was so upset about were things that maybe we could address. If the narcissist raged for hours about the way that we tied our shoes, it's reasonable to think, well, maybe if we tie our shoes the right way, they'll stop being so angry, right? We assumed that the things that were coming out of the narcissist's mouth were things that had something to do with the problems we were experiencing. How could we ever blame ourselves for running on an endless hamster wheel, going in endless circles, trying to please somebody that is suddenly so upset with us for whatever it is they're complaining about? How could we blame ourselves for trying to fix the situations that are being presented to us by going off of what the narcissist is saying? It's only after we realize what narcissism is and that we are with a narcissist that we realize that all the complaints and insults and endless hamster wheels and pointless arguments were based on nothing real, that the insults were just meant to hurt us, that the complaints were just projections, that nothing the narcissist said they were upset about were probably ever really the reason they were as upset as they were. Before we realized that we were with a narcissist, we probably assumed that this person we were with cared about our feelings and cared about whether or not they hurt our feelings. I know for me, I probably spent hundreds of hours trying to explain how deeply somebody had hurt my feelings and just never really being able to get my point across because I assumed this person cares about me. If this person understood how much they were hurting me, they would stop, right? This goes back to the assumption that we're with somebody that wants a healthy relationship. somebody that actually loves us and cares about us. It's natural to assume, and it's a reasonable expectation to have, that this person cares about our feelings, and that if this person was to realize that they're hurting us, they would try to do something about it. But as many of us have realized and experienced, when narcissists are told that they're hurting us, they really just double down. They really just become offended that we're criticizing them in some way, and they make themselves out to be the victim, and they usually become even more cruel and insensitive and abusive. And this can get us caught in an endless circle where we then continue to try to explain how much they're hurting us, which it just offends them even more, which makes them even more cruel, which gives us an even more desperate need to try to explain how much they're hurting us. And of course, it just keeps getting worse and worse in this spiral. And until we realize that this person doesn't care about our feelings, we're going to keep trying to get that point across. Before we realized that we were with a narcissist, we probably assumed that there was a way to fix the problems in the relationship, because we thought we were with someone that wanted a healthy relationship, that loved us, and that cared about our feelings. We assumed that there would be some way to communicate with the problems, to find a middle ground, to compromise. We assumed that we were with someone that wanted the same things we did. So of course we assumed that there could be some way to fix the problems. We thought that we were in a relationship that was really worth something. We maybe thought this was the person we were going to spend the rest of our life with, possibly. So of course we're going to sink all of our time and effort and energy into something that should have had a chance to survive, that should have been repairable if both people had been working on it, if both people wanted the same things and were motivated by the same things. For us to realize that there is no hope and that we cannot fix the problems in the relationship, we have to realize and accept that we're with someone that is not willing to do the things that are necessary for a healthy relationship, and that doesn't care how much it hurts us, and that really doesn't care about their relationship with you outside of the immediate direct ways that it serves them. I thought it was important to just go over these assumptions that we had, to remind ourselves that we once lived in a world where we thought we knew what monsters really looked like, that we never could have conceived of the idea that we might have fallen in love with somebody and trusted somebody that really couldn't care less about us or our feelings or our relationship, that could actually want to hurt us and harm us, that couldn't care less about how much damage they were doing to us as long as it benefited them. Even after we realize what pathological narcissism is, it's not like narcissists go around with signs on their foreheads that say who they are. They are all different. They behave in different ways and exhibit their narcissism in different ways. It's our humanity and our expectation of other people to be empathetic and reasonable and caring that left us vulnerable in the first place. And I don't think that those are things that we should ever blame ourselves for or beat ourselves up for. I think it's really important for us to forgive ourselves for having reasonable expectations that the human being that we were interacting with was also a normal human being. I don't think there's anything wrong with assuming that. Narcissists don't start out acting problematic. Most of our relationships probably started out seemingly really great and healthy and fun and loving and caring. How could we have ever known that we were with someone that was pretending to have a relationship with us, that was pretending to be all the things that we wanted? Sometimes we have to learn things the hard way. And when we do learn things the hard way, I think it's really important for us to forgive ourselves for not knowing the things that we really could have never known otherwise. If you're looking for a way to support my channel and you've been considering professional therapy, BetterHelp is offering 10% off of your first month of service if you sign up using the link below in my description. And if you sign up using the link below in my description, I'll get a one-time commission, and that'll help me out, and it will help you out as well if that's something that you've been considering. I hope this helps. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment below any ideas you have for me for future videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video and would like to see more like it in the future. Until next time, thanks. Bye. Marshall is still asleep on my bed. He's so tired. Say hello. Say hello. Yes. Oh, stretch it. Stretch it out.